What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466cards, and today we're going to talk about the unintended consequences of the Nationals' policy for their dealers and their badges. If you're unaware, this year at the National, they're limiting the number of people that can actually be in the dealer booth this year. You can see here it says the badge policy change they've made effective for this 2024 show. You can see one booth, two badges, two booth, four badges, three, six, and four and eight. So basically 2 badges per booth. Plus you can add one more dealer for $75 if you do an advance, or $100 on site. So they give you 2 badges, but at most 3 people can work in a booth. That's it. That's all they're allowing. And the reason for this is to reduce the amount of dealers that are selling part of their booth or splitting booths or renting out their booths, which has been pretty commonplace according to just about everybody, and to not have dealers basically making money by renting out parts of their booth, because that's not in the spirit of the National. And if you scroll down here to the next page, and in case you're wondering what this document is, this is the dealer packet for all the dealers for the 2024 National. You scroll down to page, this was page 4, if you scroll down to page 5, it says, each exhibitor agrees to allow only officially registered exhibitors into their booths. Badges must be worn by all reps and are required for admittance to the show. And again, they show you the breakdown here of 2 badges that are complimentary per each booth, and then 1 more that you can buy with $75 or $100. And I understand what they were trying to do with this, but it's going to have a lot of unintended consequences. First of all, if you're not able to bring extra people to the booth, you're not going to be able to sell as many cards, because if you have 4 or 5 different people trying to negotiate on a card, buy a card, sell a card, trade a card, whatever it is, and you only have 2 people at the booth, or maybe 3, if you're willing to pay that extra $75, well, you can't serve everybody. And so I feel like at this year's National, there will be more lineups at various booths, because there just aren't that many people at each booth working there. And I think that's going to be an unintended consequence of this policy, because they're trying to cut down on the selling of booth space, right? And I don't think that's good, because you're basically limiting the amount of sales that your dealers can make at the show. That's not good. And whether or not that's worth the trade-off, I don't know, but I would say probably not. I'm sure there's a better way to do it than just limiting the number of people. Secondly, we all heard about this theft at the Dallas Card Show from Day Sportscards. It's awful news. You've all seen this by now. I'm not going to go into it, but these are the suspects. They did this very coordinated plan to distract the 3 people working the booth so that a 4th person could enter the booth and steal a bunch of very, very valuable and rare cards. Now, I think we can all agree that the more people working a booth, the more protected and safe you are from people stealing your cards, right? If you only have, let's say, 1 or 2 people working in the booth, it's a lot easier to distract them and have someone else steal cards, like what happened at Dallas. And so if you literally have a policy saying you can't have more than 3 people at a booth at a show as busy as the National, well, aren't you just making it easier for people to steal cards from dealers? Like, hello? Isn't that pretty obvious? So, yeah, congratulations. You have cut down on the ability of people to sell booth space and sell basically booth space and rent it out on the black market, which obviously is not something you want to do. But it seems like you've kind of lost the plot here. You've made it harder for dealers to sell cards from their booths by not having multiple people man the tables. And also, you've made it easier for thieves to steal cards from the booth by limiting the amount of people working the booth and keeping an eye on it. So, for example, if you are a dealer and you've seen what happened at the Dallas card show, and you're like, that's not happening to me. Absolutely not. I am going to hire a security guard, and he is going to sit in my booth and just watch everything with an eagle eye, because I'm willing to pay that extra, whatever, 100, 150 bucks a day to protect my valuable inventory that's worth tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, according to this, you can't do that. And so that doesn't sound great. And I know that there's going to be undercover cops here, but I'm pretty sure there are undercover cops at the Dallas show too, given the amount of video footage that they had, that they have a lot of pretty decent security procedures and mechanisms in place. And it still happened. So, like, yeah, National, congratulations. You guys cut down on booth selling and sharing of space and selling of space. But you also made it harder for the dealers to sell cards, and you made it easier to steal from them. So I really only have one thought on the fact that you guys seem to have lost a plot on this one with this, in hindsight, very silly policy. That's it. That's the video. Thank you, as always, for listening and watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.